Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119. Today's show runs Monday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is February 5th, 2018, and now the news at noon. According to the Cortez Journal, a Durango man suspected of slashing another man's face pleaded not guilty Friday in 6th Judicial District Court. Sean Christopher Giovanni is suspected of using a razor blade, possibly a box cutter, to wound Dayon Hudson, an Ignacio man, in September. He is charged with assault with a deadly weapon, possessing a weapon, fleeing a crime, and 6 counts of being a habitual criminal. District Judge Todd Norville scheduled Giovanni's trial for June 18th. The incident occurred about 1 a.m. September 30th in the First National Bank parking lot. Hudson and his girlfriend left Colorado Pongas in a Dodge pickup. They drove only 100 feet before realizing they had a flat tire. Hudson soon learned his tire had been slashed, and while inspecting it, he was attacked from behind by Giovanni, according to an arrest affidavit. During the fight, Giovanni is suspected of using a box cutter to try to cut Hudson's throat. He apparently missed and instead inflicted an 8-inch long cut to Hudson's face, police said. An arrest warrant was issued, and Giovanni eventually turned himself in to police October 9th. According to the Durango Herald, preventing opioid addiction can start in the doctor's office, which is why hospitals and clinics across the region are cutting back on prescribing opioids such as codeine and oxycodone. More than 42,000 people from across the country died in 2016 by opioid overdose, setting a record, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In Colorado, heroin was responsible for 228 deaths, and opioid-related deaths totaled 300 during the same year. In 2016, opioids played a role in 5 La Plata County deaths, according to data supplied by Jan Smith, La Plata County coroner. Since 2002, the overdose death rates in La Plata, Montezuma, Archuleta, San Juan, and Dolores counties have been growing steadily, Dangler Frey said. Opioid abuse is one of the 3 biggest health problems facing the region, along with diabetes and suicide, she said. It's a problem that cuts across demographics that aren't usually associated with drug use. For example, high school athletes can get addicted after they are prescribed opioids for injuries, she said. Opioid addictions can lead people to buy heroin on the street, and reducing opioid prescriptions should keep former patients from seeking that dangerous high, she said. In August, Southwest Medical Group, a primary care clinic, and other primary care doctors started assessing each patient's depression, anxiety, and other factors to learn how likely someone is to abuse opioids. The test results determine how often a patient must meet with a primary care provider before having opioid prescriptions renewed. Doctors also started reducing doses of prescribed opioid medications for some patients based on guidance from the CDC to lower the risk of accidental death. And ultimately, we would like to wean most patients completely off their medication using other therapies, with the exception of a few diagnoses, Boucher said. 2 years ago, the emergency department and the walk-in clinics associated with Southwest Health System started giving patients only enough opioids for 2 to 3 days because a patient can form an addiction in 3 days. After seeing a doctor at the emergency room or clinic, Southwest Health System patients are required to see a primary care doctor to receive more opioids. The results of the Southwest Health System's efforts have been mixed. Medical staff members have identified high-dosage users and started to manage them to a lower dosing schedule. The system has also lost patients who would not be seen unless their medications were refilled. Reported by the Cortez Journal, the point of getting better, or in some cases any, broadband service to rural Coloradans isn't about downloading movies or from Netflix or checking a Facebook status, although that would be nice. It's about the high school student who stays at school until 8 p.m. because it's the only place where internet service is fast enough to do homework. The Senate Business, Labor, and Technology Committee worked into the evening Wednesday to review a bill that could do just that. Senate Bill 2 would take dollars that currently go to CenturyLink and transfer them to a state broadband fund. The Broadband Board would then turn those dollars into grants to telecom providers that would build high-speed internet in rural communities. The committee approved the bill on a 7-0 vote, but that unanimous vote masks just how much work there is ahead to overcome some of the measure's strongest opposition. Few bills in 2018 will be more complicated than SB 2. Yet, few will have as much impact on the economic and educational future of rural Coloradans as evidenced by the testimony of witnesses who traveled from all over the state to plead for the General Assembly to fix the broadband problem once and for all. Some of the biggest complaints came from residents of the Western Slope. In 2014, the General Assembly decided to start shifting HCSM dollars to pay for rural broadband, but that's been slow going, due in part to lawsuits. The HCSM also is dwindling as people move away from landlines. In 2013, the fund took in $53 million. In 2016, it had dropped to $37 million, and is expected to be even lower in the future. Sonnenberg told the committee that the sponsor's intent is to use the HCSM to get to those areas where the unserved or have very limited service. And Brian Shepard of the Office of Information Technology said the Broadband Board would prioritize its grants to areas with the greatest need first, and next to those providers that will build 25 megabits per second up and 3 down. The bill next heads to the Senate floor for debate. If it reaches the House, it will be carried by the Speaker of the House, Cristina Duran of Denver, and House Majority Leader Casey Becker of Boulder. And now, let's take a look at the weather. And now for our DCTV 5-day forecast. Tuesday will have a 20% chance of snow showers before 11 a.m. It will be mostly sunny with a high near 46 and a northwest wind of 5 to 15 miles per hour. The low will be around 23. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high near 49 and a north to northeast wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming northwest in the afternoon. The low will be around 25. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high near 54 and a low near 28. Friday will be partly sunny with a high near 55 and a low around 29. Saturday will be partly sunny with a high near 51 and a low around 27. And now, back to the news. Reported by the Durango Herald, 2 government studies that bombarded rats and mice with cell phone radiation found a weak link to some heart tumors. But federal regulators and some scientists say, don't worry, it is safe to use your device. They still do. Previous studies of cell phone users had found little reason for concern, but the newest research took a closer look at the effects of super high doses in animals to address some lingering questions that could not be tested on humans. The rat study released Friday found a small increase in an unusual type of heart tumor in male rats, but there were no significant problems in female rats or in a separate study of mice. In particular, scientists could not find hard evidence for concern about brain tumors. The lead author of the research, John Boucher, of the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, is not changing his cell phone use or advising his family to. The rodent studies do not reflect real-life cell phone use, he cautioned. The findings about the rare nerve tissue tumor discovered in the hearts of male rats do not translate directly into a concern for humans, he stressed. Boucher's agency conducted the $25 million study at the behest of the Food and Drug Administration, which quickly said cell phones are safe. Reported by the Durango Herald, save your life but harm your heart? Health experts are sounding a warning as potential side effects of a growing number of breast cancer treatments come to light. In its first statement on the topic, the American Heart Association on Thursday said women should consider carefully the risks and benefits of any therapies that may hurt hearts. Not all treatments carry these risks, and there may be ways to minimize or avoid some. There are more than 3 million breast cancer survivors and nearly 48 million women with heart disease in the United States. Some treatments for other types of cancer may pose heart risks, but they are growing more common for breast cancer patients, and the statement addressed only that form of the disease. According to the Cortez Journal, ServSafe, a nationally recognized comprehensive food safety training developed by the National Restaurant Association, will be held April 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and April 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the La Plata County Fairgrounds Extension Building, 2500 Main Avenue in Durango. The two-day course is sponsored by the Colorado State University La Plata County Extension Office. Food service managers and cottage food producers will benefit from this highest level of food safety training. After completing the test with a 75% or higher, participants will receive a ServSafe certificate valid for 5 years. The cost is $120 per person. Attendees receive a course textbook and a final exam along with the training. The cost for each additional associate from the same site and employer is $80 with a shared book. The final online exam is another $37, and bring a laptop. For more information, call 970-382-6461 or pre-register at the Extension office. Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well. And be sure to check us out on Facebook. We'd love to see your like there. It's DCTV News at Noon, and please like us there and share it with a friend. For DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.